I am Mindy McLean-Sievert. I am 29 years old. I work for Iredell Statesville Schools and I'm a teacher at West Iredell High School. I was very active. I cheered, I danced. I would spend, a lot of time out on the farm with my family. So I was very busy, very active. Even the past few years running in 5Ks and different things like that. No physical restraints normally. Me and my husband started trying to have a family a few years ago when we started building our house. After a few months, we suffered our first miscarriage, which during that, they noticed that I had a DNC, and during that time, they noticed that my heart did do some funny things, so I saw a cardiologist. They did an echo and an EKG, and everything seemed normal at that time. And then about a year later, we had another miscarriage. And then another year later, we got pregnant with Sawyer. The night before my event, we had our gender reveal, and it was July 1st. So we set off fireworks for all of our family and friends to celebrate and to reveal that he was going to be a little boy. The next morning, my husband went out to take the dog. He come back in and he had heard a noise, and that's when I was in the bed and had my cardiac arrest.
I'd got up that morning, took the dog out, come back in, sat down in the chair to watch TV, and just heard a weird noise coming from the bedroom. Went to check on her and said her name. She didn't respond. I went and pulled the covers back, and her eyes wide open, no heartbeat, not breathing. Kind of a little bit of a panic. I pulled her out of the bed, started CPR, called 911. Been trained in CPR through work years ago, so kind of still knew how to do that, but now whenever it's somebody like that, your wife, it is a bit of a panic. I mean, you try to do the best you can do, but it was enough till first responders got here. My biggest fear was her not making it. It was disbelief.
The first responders showed up. They continued CPR, shot me with the AED 3 times to bring me back. From there, I was transported to a local hospital. The local hospital did CTs and kind of tried to evaluate, but they weren't really sure, so then I was airlifted to a larger hospital. From there, they put me in the hyperthermic state because they wasn't sure how long my brain had been without oxygen. And this is also kind of rare to do to a person that was pregnant. They had told my family that, that was probably like the 4th person that had ever been put in the hypothermic state while they were pregnant. And, at that point, they weren't really sure the outcome of me or the baby at that time. After the hypothermic state, I came out. That all happened on the Sunday. On Monday, they brought me out of it. I went into cardiac arrest again, but they were able to see kind of what was going on from that. And that's when they started diagnosing or, considering that it was long QT syndrome. I woke up sooner than I remember. What I remember from is about a week and a half into the stay at the hospital. The doctors told me that they were pretty sure that I had long QT syndrome. They could look at my EKGs and they could see the numbers were high. But of course, for long QT, the genetic testing is like a confirmation of it. After they had kind of determined what was causing all the issues between the long QT and the PVCs, the first surgery that I had was to put in a temporary pacemaker, and they paced my heart at 120 beats to keep it from going into that cardiac arrest again. The next surgery I had was an ablation, where they went in to stop the extra PVCs, the beats from happening. And then the last surgery that I had was to put in my permanent pacemaker defibrillator to be there. My pacemaker is paced at 70 beats continuously, and the defibrillator's there if something would ever happen to go into cardiac arrest again. We had Sawyer on November 30th and had a normal delivery. Everything went really well. It was a short and quick delivery, and it actually went a lot better than anyone ever expected. There's so many people to thank, and it's just amazing. Every little person involved in the chain of events something would have been different. I don't think either one of us would have been here, from my husband doing CPR to the first responders having an AED to be able to bring me back. Then the hospitals being able to do the surgeries to diagnose long QT, because 10 years ago, long QT was something that most people hadn't heard of. Even most individuals have never heard of it. And now doctors are able to see what, some of these heart defects and be able to test, for my son to know what he has and to be able to treat it, so he won't have to go through the same, scary events that I did. It's just such a miracle that, from everything that happened, I was told by first responders that I only had a 6% chance when they showed up to save me. And I think about, well, if I only had a 6%, there's no wonder what his percentage was, and that he's actually here and, I'm able to hold him and everything. This experience has changed our life because, just a lot more grateful for everything that's happened. Grateful for the medical professions, all the people that, sacrifice their time, and just like the Heart Association, the people who spend the time fundraising and helping out for this event to make a better opportunity for us, to be able to survive.